Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your number one source for income-oriented investing on the Canadian and US stock market. Once again, it's time to unveil my entire portfolio from A to Z. That's right, it's your favorite video, everyone. So this video or portfolio update is update number 24, which will cover everything that's happened in April of 2023. Remember that I have an entire YouTube playlist dedicated to all my portfolio unveil videos, so you can actually follow my journey along with me. So a quick note about my investing style in case you're new to the channel. I am a long-term buy and hold income focused or income oriented investor. So the primary objective of this strategy is to generate consistently high, relatively safe passive income forever, every single month. How do I achieve this? Well, my portfolio, as you will see in a second, primarily holds ETFs and funds that hold or invest in blue chip, dividend, so stocks, so high quality stocks or even indexes, but that use income enhancing strategies like leverage, like covered calls, and sometimes a combination of both. So they provide fairly consistent passive income every single month. And the intent is really to buy and hold them long term, get paid every single month, and live off my dividends, not buying low to sell high later on. So what will I show you in this video exactly? You might see some numbers on the thumbnail. Well, first of all, we will do a bird's eye view or an overview of my 6 investing accounts together with Passiv. So Passiv is a neat little portfolio reference or portfolio companion and tracking tool, which I use. I really like it. So we'll get a bird's eye view, and then I'll break down all my investing accounts in Excel because it's much more easier to digest. And of course, remember, you could actually download the Excel file, what I'm about to show you, because it might look small on your screen, on my website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca, and just click on free tools and resources at the top, and it will be the very first download. Just click on that big red download button. So let's get started. Let's check out my entire portfolio from A to Z. This portfolio update video has been brought to you by Harvest Portfolios Group, one of my personal favorite income-oriented fund managers on the Canadian market. They are actually the second biggest covered call ETF provider in Canada. And one of my personal favorite funds is their all-in-one fund, which literally combines 6 of their best or most popular covered call ETFs all in one ETF. So you have great diversification. On top of that, they use 25% leverage for an awesome yield of over 10% right now. I'm talking, of course, about HDIF. That is the stock symbol, the Harvest Diversified Monthly Income ETF. Make sure to check it out on the website. And guess what, everyone? They just released a non-leveraged version of the same exact all-in-one ETF, HRIF. So in case you're not comfortable with the leverage whatsoever, but you want that diversification, you want an all-in-one solution, HRIF is actually the first non-leveraged all-in-one covered call ETF solution. Of course, you're not going to get 10% yield. You'll get a little bit less because you'll get approximately 25% less yield because there's no 25% leverage, but it's a great option if you still want that high, nice, approximate 8% yield, diversification, and you really love covered call solutions. All right, so now it's time to get into the portfolio. So here it is. I am logged into Passiv. This is a bird's eye view. I'm just showing you this to make sure to prove that all the numbers on my thumbnail are real. So right now, the total value of all 6 of my investing accounts in Canadian currency is a little over 1.1 million. Of course, you guys know that I have, in case you're new here, I'll explain it very quickly. I'm not going to get into it too much in detail about the structure, what I track in my portfolio. If you want, I strongly suggest, in case you're new here, to view my portfolio explained video. So that will talk a little bit more about tracking and structure, portfolio objectives, and really do a deep dive into what I'm about to unveil to you. But this is really a bird's eye view and the value of a combination of my 6 accounts, which of course, you guys know that I have 2 entities, my retirement accounts, which is my Lira, my RSP, my wife's RSP, or Erica's RSP. Then you have the main portfolio, which is a combination of my TFSA, Erica's TFSA, and our joint cash account or non-registered account. That's what we use to live off of, the main portfolio. The retirement accounts, we are not touching any of the income or extracting any of the income. They are simply being the dividends are simply being reinvested every single month via the drip or a manual drip or manual reinvestment. So that's pretty much it for Passiv, and I strongly suggest you guys get Passiv. It's a really cool app. There's a free version, there's a free community version, and in case you want to try the elite membership, which by the way comes free with Questrade, it's a phenomenal perk. If you're using the Questrade broker like me, you get elite membership or access to Passiv completely free, and it's usually a $100 US value. So make sure to get Passiv or try the elite membership in case you don't have Questrade. I actually have a 50% off referral code in the video description below. And by the way, if ever you're interested in switching to Questrade, I also have a referral link for Questrade where you could get $50 off. But Passiv, one of my favorite features is really the reporting tab, which is actually what I use to calculate how much dividends I'm making for the year. Year to date, for the month, and what you could do is really cool. So like I showed you, I have 6 investing accounts here, but what you could do is, let's say I just want the passive income or the dividends from my 2 TFSAs and my joint cash account, which is really what I'm living off of, and what I will show you in a second. This is how I actually calculate it or track it. So you just select the 3 accounts here that you want, you click apply, and it will calculate year to date. We'll click on year to date while it's processing. If you scroll down, you could actually see all the dividend income from every single stock for whatever time period. So remember that number 24,359 because you'll see it in a second. So make sure to get Passiv, guys. It's really, really cool. So now it's time to show you the breakdown or the details of my portfolio in Excel. We'll go through all the holdings I have one by one. And if there's any, what I bought in the last month, what I sold, if I sold anything, if there's any changes, we'll go through it right now. And it might be a little bit small for you on your screen when I show you the Excel. So make sure to download it if you want. You could follow along with me. You could download the Excel file on my website. Just go to free tools and resources and it will be the very first download. All right, so let's get started. Let's look at the whole breakdown now in Excel. All right, everyone, let's start with the retirement accounts, which you guys already know. Most of you know that I focus primarily on the US stock market for my RRSP, Erica's RRSP as well. So this, we've chosen to go with mostly US denominated or US currency stuff. So most of the stuff is on the US stock market. So, and of course, everything is Canadian. The totals are in Canadian here, according to this exchange rate here, which I put $1.35. I think it's $1.36, but I typically put a 1 cent lower. So let's go through any changes. Let's go through my RSP first. And if we go to the RSP tracker tab, you could see what I bought and sold in April. So I didn't sell anything in April. I did buy 3.5K worth of TSLY, which is from YieldMax, another $1,000 in OR, and $1,000 in a brand new position. It's an ETF called KLIP. So what is that ETF? Here it is. You'll see that here. Very, very small position. But this ETF is basically from Crane Shares. This is a US ETF provider. And good news is that I am in contact with them. So we might do a Q&A soon on this ETF. This is the China Internet and Covered Call Strategy ETF. So KLIP is basically very, very, very similar strategy to the YieldMax ETF. So what they do is they have a covered call strategy. So they hold the KWEB ETF. So the KWEB ETF is an ETF that holds only Chinese technology companies, which, as you could guess, technology, just Chinese stocks, very, very volatile. So covered calls actually is really, really good because obviously covered calls does well, or you get high premiums with high volatility. And this ETF's been out for a few months now, and they've been pretty much averaging about $1 a dividend every single month, which translates to an approximate yield of between 60 and 65%, which is absolutely crazy. So very similar to those YieldMax ETFs, very aggressive with the covered calls. Again, I'm planning to do a Q&A with the fund manager, but from the information I have, it's 100% coverage and mostly at the money call. So it's the most aggressive covered call strategy you could do on a very, very volatile ETF. Of course, something like this would only be in my RSP, in my fund account, and it would be a very, very small secondary position. You guys see it's less than 1%. I only put $1,000. We'll see how it goes. But hey, 65% yield is absolutely astronomical. Very, very fun. So we'll see what happens. Besides that, like I showed you in the RSP tracker tool, I simply added a little bit to Tesla. There was that day when I think Tesla announced their earnings and it took a big hit. So I took advantage and I bought some, and I have my book prices. I lowered my dollar cost average to about 14.57. So the yield is really, really high. Keep in mind that the distributions for these types of ETFs, guys, changes monthly, could vary. So what I typically do, the ones highlighted in dark blue here, is I take the average of the last 3 distributions, right? It's very easy to do. Take the last 3 dividends, add them up together, and that'll get you the average. And then you just multiply it by 4, because there's, 3 times 4, there's 12 dividends in a year. So that's what I typically do. So again, this is for some of these, for a lot of these wildly variable distributions like OSOI, OARC, TSLY, KLIP, it's the average annual dividend rate based on the last 3 distributions. All right. So in terms of other positions, as I put the gold ones here as primary. I consider these more primary positions, and these ones here more secondary niche positions. So CLM, of course, we're all waiting for, sorry about that. We're all waiting for the rights offering for CLM, which hasn't come yet. Last year it was done in April. So I have a feeling that they didn't do or announce a rights offering because the premium is too low. They're probably waiting till the premium gets a bit higher. It's about 15% now. So let's wait for that rights offering. And I am planning to do a CLM video. I know some of you guys have been asking me about it. I will do a CLM video, which will be, after watching the video, you will be a master hopefully at CLM, because I could finally say now I understand CLM completely. And the key to CLM is really actually the drip policy, if you ask me, and I do have some updates and news on that for us Canadians. So stay tuned for that video. SVOL being SVOL, you guys know I love SVOL. It's performing phenomenally. It's beating the S&P 500, so a very core primary position in my portfolio here. CEFD is my all-in-one closed-end fund solution. So this is basically an ETN that has an index of about over 100 closed-end funds on the US market, which are very income oriented. Unfortunately, closed-end funds are typically fixed income focused, and fixed income has been getting a beating. Add the 50% leverage on CEFD, and a lot of the closed-end funds within CEFD are leveraged themselves, and you get a cocktail for a huge downslide. So CEFD, of course, I am down on it about $6,000 or something like that, but it turns out I've already made like $5,000 or $6,000 in dividends. So I am definitely planning on keeping some and probably buying more eventually. It's just a bit of a pain to buy some because it's not an ETF, so you have to pay a fee, and there's low liquidity, low volume. But definitely a primary position because I consider it my all-in-one closed-end fund solution. So instead of picking and choosing various closed-end funds, might as well have this. That's just my opinion. HYGW, also a great secondary position. This is actually fixed income. All it is, it's a high yield corporate bond from iShares, and they write at the money covered calls on it. So very aggressive covered calls. It's been doing really, really well. Again, varying monthly distributions. So this is really an estimate. They actually just announced a crazy one for April at 85 cents, but then the May one is less than half of that at 40 cents. You got to expect varying distributions. It's all based on pretty much volatility. But hey, on average, I'm making at least, somewhere between 17 and 19% yield. But like I said, the yield could vary, and this is just an estimate, an eyeball estimate here. Secondary positions, USOI. So this is covered calls on oil futures. Oil prices, oil futures, very, very volatile. So of course, covered calls is going to work really well. And I'm doing really great on this fund. In terms of capital, I think I'm at 13.5, so I'm down like 1,500, but I've made like thousands and thousands of dollars with the huge monthly dividends. They actually just released their new dividend, a lot higher than 60 cents, which was their last one. So again, things, a lot of stuff in my RSP is very crazy, very fun. I wouldn't suggest it if you're trying to build, a strong foundational type of account. This is really my fun account, to be honest with you guys. And by the way, if you scroll down, I just added the objectives and parameters for every single account. So you could take a look at that, and you see here, right? Fun account, 15 plus annual target yield. And right now I'm actually at over 22% yield on this account. So definitely very, very fun for me. So that's USOI. OARC, covered calls on Cathie Wood's flagship ARC ETF. Very, very volatile as well. It will pretty much kind of do what ARC does. Same concept for this one, TSLY. And if in case you haven't seen it, I have a great video explaining these yield max covered call ETFs because they're very different. They use a synthetic covered call strategy. I talked to the fund manager, Zega, Jay from Zega, who's a very, very nice guy. Make sure to check out that video if you're interested in or want to learn more about these ETFs. I do have BDC X, which is another eTrax ETN, just like CEFD, but focuses only on BDCs. And the thing I don't like about it is that it's a quarterly dividend. It's actually the only thing in all my accounts that's quarterly payout and not monthly. But hey, very nice high yield of over 15% on this one. This is the Tesla one, and this is the new ETF like I described, KLIP. Very, very high yield covered calls on that internet technology ETF. We'll have to wait and see. So overall, have a really, really nice yield. Those are the changes. Erica's RSP is a little bit more classic, a little bit more foundational, and the primary position is going to be HYLD.U. .U means it's, HYLD. It's still on the Canadian stock market, but it's in US currency. Huge, massive position here. Unfortunately, HYLD did reduce their dividend, but it's still giving me 12 a month. And by the way, Erica's RSP, the 3 positions here, it's on drip. It's a set and forget. So HYLD is my primary equity position, I would say. RA is my secondary real estate, real assets position. I really like Brookfield for that. And RIV is kind of similar to CEFD. It's my secondary all-in-one closed-end fund solution. So CEFD and RIV are the all-in-one closed-end fund solutions that I have. YYY ETF from Amplify ETFs is another option. It's a more basic option without leverage. RIV and CEFD are leveraged. RIV, by the way, is a great pickup right now. It's trading at a not only are the closed-end funds inside of it trading at a discount, which I reviewed in my stock picks for May last week, but RIV itself is at a discount. So really, really good pickup. I'm super happy that this one is just dripping away. I am buying cheap shares that are cheaper than the actual NAV. So I'm buying shares at a discount. So that's it. For the Lira, I did a Hail Mary on BTCY on Bitcoin, set and forget it. It's picked up lately, and the good news is that Bitcoin doubled their distribution from last month. So again, this is in dark blue. This is going to be the average of the last 3 distributions. So if they keep hopefully 4 cents a month, that's dividend rate should become 48 cents. So this is just, set and forget, a Hail Mary on Bitcoin. This Lira basically was money from my Air Canada pension. So half of it was not even my money anyway, but I am down overall on it because when I invested in it, it was much higher. So all in all, everyone, total monthly income translated to Canadian dollars is a little over 6,800 a month, and this is just being reinvested. So let's check out now the main portfolio, or what I consider my cash cow portfolio, that I actually live off the income. All right, the main portfolio, everyone, the combination of our 2 TFSAs and our non-registered account. So first of all, let's go through what I actually bought in April, bought and sold. So we click on the main portfolio tracker here. A lot of buying and 0 selling. So I haven't sold anything in April, and I expect selling to be almost nothing going forward because I am a buy and hold investor. The only reason I would sell something is maybe to streamline my portfolio and make it more efficient. But whatever I do buy, keep in mind, my intent is really to hold it long term, everyone. So what did I buy? 10K in HDIF. So HDIF has why did I do that? Well, HDIF does include a US banks ETF, which has taken a beating. So I wanted to capitalize on that. And of course, HDIF is a core primary position. And as you guys know, I am focusing mostly on my core and primary positions, which are, there's 6 of them. They're in gold here. So these are the ones that I primarily always average down. So HDIF is definitely one of them. So $10,000 in HDIF in April, 6.2K in HYLD despite the distribution reduction, 5,000 in HMAX, and a little bit in HDIV as well. So the 4 H's, everyone, that's pretty much what I invested in April. It was a very busy month in terms of buying, not in terms of selling. I keep going to that one. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go through the portfolio one by one. We'll go through the holdings one by one. And don't forget, everyone, just a quick reminder, in case you don't have it yet, you should download Blossom. This is a mobile app that I am on where you could actually put your portfolio, you could connect your portfolio to your broker, but it's not necessary, it's not mandatory. But another cool thing about it is not many people know, if you actually connect your broker to Blossom, you'll have access to these courses that you could take, and they only take like 2, 3, 4 minutes, and you get money. You actually get paid. You get like $1 a course. There's like 12 of them there right now. So it'll literally be the easiest 10, 12, $15 you could ever make. So my suggestion, download Blossom. There is a referral link in the video description at the top. So make sure you download it with that referral link. It's completely free. And also make sure to follow me and follow my portfolio. Here I am. I'm actually almost got to 5,000 followers. My username is Adrian_PII. And this is where you could actually follow my personal portfolio on a daily basis. You'll see how my funds are doing, etc., etc. So in case you're curious, you could follow me and you could see exactly how this main portfolio is doing, because the main portfolio that I'm showing you right now here in Excel, that is what I show or unveil in Blossom. So make sure to get Blossom, guys. It's really, really cool, really awesome. A lot of other Canadian financial YouTubers are there, and you can follow their portfolios as well. So it's very, very interesting. All right, let's go through the portfolio now one by one. So of course we have HYLD here. This is my biggest position at 24%. Of course, a dividend reduction, I took an income hit of about $260, so it gave a little sting, but again, it's well justified. Remember that HYLD is just a middleman, guys. It's just a flow-through fund. So if the funds inside of it have varying distributions, and they do, because all JEPI, JEPQ can have varying distributions based on volatility. The distribution for HYLD might have to be reduced. It could be variable. You got to expect it to change once in a while. Make sure to check out the Q&A video I do with Rob Wessel, where we discuss for 30 minutes this distribution reduction. But HYLD will always be a big and core position in my portfolio. I don't know if it'll always be the biggest one, but right now it is by far at almost 25%, a little over 24% here. So did take an income hit, but hey, it's still my average cost is $13.76, so I'm getting there right now. It's at $12.20, so I'm actually down about only 10 or 11% on it. So I'm just going to keep averaging down, dollar cost averaging. HYLD is something I'll probably buy every single month. HDIV, added a little bit to it as well. So this one I'm pretty good on. I'm only down like 3 or 4% on this one. So HDIV and HYLD, of course, is from Hamilton ETFs, and HDIV focuses mostly on Canadian companies. It's about half Canada, half US, whereas HYLD is all US. So HDIF is what I added a lot to. Right now, it's the second biggest position in my main portfolio at 12.69%. I absolutely love HDIF. Very, very consistent. You get the signature consistent dividends that basically almost never move at harvest. Almost have 100,000 in here, and I'm down about 10 or 11% on it. So I'm probably going to keep averaging down HYLD and HDIF primarily as the core positions, because I am not down, I'm down only about 5 or 6% on HDIF and BMAX. I am up significantly on EIT, down about 9% on RS. So RS seems like a very interesting pickup right now. Recently, we'll have to see. You guys know that one of my objectives is to have at least 10% of my portfolio in real estate, which is what RS is. And right now I have over 11%, so I'm good with that. So yeah, HDIV picked up a lot recently. I'm thinking of picking some up again next month for sure. BMAX is the other all-in-one. So these four, by the way, are the all-in-one leveraged solutions that I own. I absolutely love this concept. You guys know this is now my favorite income-oriented vehicle. So combination of multiple covered call ETFs with 25% leverage. The best characteristics of a split share fund without the negatives of a split share fund, right? Missing dividends. So BMAX is doing good. Stay tuned. I have a Q&A planned with Chris Cullen from Brompton, where we're going to discuss BMAX in detail. I'm excited for that. I always like, having good relationships and contacts with the fund managers that I own. HMAX, add a little bit in HMAX as well, because there is pressure on the financials right now. Even though most of the fiascos on the US side, it always spills over to the Canadian side. So HMAX doing really, really high yields here. Again, this is a covered call solution, so you got to expect varying distributions. So the distribution started at 18.5, now it's at 18 cents a month. And if you're wondering why, well, guess what? Stay tuned, because I have a video coming up where I talk to Rob Wessel about the Canadian financial landscape, US financial landscape, and we'll talk about HMAX and their new banking ETF, HEB as well. Stay tuned for that video. Then we have so HYLD was some bad news, but some good news on finally BTCY and ETHY. They have both increased their dividend finally. So again, remember that these annual dividends are based on the average of the last 3 months. So if these new dividends are the same for the next 2 months, they will increase again here, or I'll raise them again here. So finally over 5% on the Bitcoin and almost 5% on the Ether. Of course, I'm still down significantly on them. They're still my biggest drag in terms of capital in my portfolio, but you gotta expect, this is really a long-term play, and you gotta expect varying dividends, guys, because these are solely income from covered call writing, which is based on volatility. Then you have this Tesla one, which I got the best timing in my life on something. I picked it up at $14.09, which was incredible. So I actually have a yield of over 26%, the highest yield by far. But this is a more risky niche position. You're basically only investing in Tesla, guys. That's what it is. So it's Tesla stock with 25% leverage and covered calls on 50% of the portfolio. And guess what? I'm also in contact with Purpose. I'm probably going to do a Q&A with the Purpose fund manager who manages the calls on these yield share ETFs. They not only have Tesla, they also have an Apple one, an Amazon one, a Google one, a Berkshire one, and I think there's 5 more coming. So stay tuned for a video on these ETFs here. So that's it for my ETFs, everyone. Moving on to closed-end funds. Have not bought any, not really any much news. EIT is still the king. I'm up on it significantly. That's why I haven't been adding more to it. I'm always looking to average down, not average up, but EIT is always great. Definitely always will be a core position in my portfolio. The 2 Quadravest split funds that I have, DFN and FTN, no news on these. They're paying out. They recently updated their unit NAVs, and their DFN's a little over $15. So it's always a little bit close, but DFN is just very well managed, and there's good diversification. There's a lot of Canadian banks in there, which are very strong. FTN over $17, all financials. There's US banks in there and Canadian banks. LBS, DGS, GDV are my Brompton split funds that I own. Nothing to report here. DGS, they declared the dividend for May, which is great. LBS has been a rock star in my portfolio. I did pick up some really cheap back in 2020, which is why I have a low book price here. So I'm definitely up on LBS. DGS a little bit down on, it's about 550 or something like that. I'm at 655, but DGS is going to be the one where you got to expect dividend misses. That's just the name of the game when it comes with split funds. GDV, very, very solid global dividend stocks all around the world. Very, very unique. And I'm always going to keep a little bit of GDV and add to it, or add to any split funds really opportunistically, everyone, when the NAV is trading at a premium of at least under 10%, or maybe even at a discount, but it's very, very rare. Then you have the middle field ones, which are pretty much the most conservative and the split funds that have the highest unit NAV. So ENS is doing phenomenal because Enbridge is doing phenomenal. So nothing to report there. No dividend misses ever. And of course, you guys know that RS is my go-to for real estate exposure. Definitely a core position in my personal portfolio because I don't own real estate, right? I don't own physical real estate. I rent. So having at least 10% of real estate is very important to me, but it might not be important to you. So maybe it's not a core position for you, but it is for me. So all in all, my total monthly income from last month, it was $6,600. Now it's $6,625. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for that HYLD distribution cut, and then there's also the increase in dividends, of course, from BTCY and ETHY, this monthly income would have been in the 6,800. So it's a shame, I was gaining close to that 7,000, but hey, we'll get there because I will keep investing every single month. So now let's tabulate and go over the totals and the summary, and I'll briefly explain how it works. But first, I just want to show you that, what I calculate here, or what I track for 2023 is all my capital gains. So this is not capital gains income or passive income. This is just from buying and selling. So you guys know that, if you go to main portfolio tracking, you know what I've bought and what I've sold. Not much here, just GDV and SBC, but that's translated into big capital gains. So that's what this capital gain is. And the income is all the dividends I've gotten from in 2023 so far. So how do I get 24,359? Well, remember in passive, everyone, 24,359. So that's all it is. It's the reporting function in Passiv, which I really, really like and what I use to actually help me track my income. So when it comes to the summary, everyone, which is right here, it's very easy. This is my total invested. This is my total book cost. This is my current portfolio value, which I also get in Passiv. Let's go back and check. So if you just click on main portfolio, well, right now it's 677 because I guess, today the market is going down. So you know what, I'll even update it live. We'll put it at 677. So overall, I am down 9.63% on my book value. Remember, this is completely unrealized, right? It's unrealized, don't really care about this. My annual dividend rate is still over 10%. You guys know that I have an objective. It has to be always over 10%. So unfortunately, I was actually over 11, but because of the HYLD cut, I'm back down to 10.61. So monthly passive income, 66.25 a month right now. And let's look at the portfolio total. So total income received, 237,000. What is that total income received? It's all the dividends throughout all the years. It's all the income, all the passive income. So it's just all these income boxes added up together. The total capital gains is all the capital gains boxes added up together, and this is actually realized, right? This is realized income, it's realized capital gain. This is why I have realized in brackets everywhere. So total profit realized, which is income and capital gains together, since the beginning is just crossed 350,000. Very, very exciting. 350,000 realized profits, guys. Current portfolio value plus total profit, so it's basically 677 plus 350,000. So this is basically, let's say I sold everything off today, I would get $677,000 back, right? Plus 350 all my profits, which translates into a little over 1 million, which means that on top of or compared to my book cost of 750, it's approximate total return, unrealized total return of 37%. So I am up, basically. I'm doing really, really well. And of course, these are my parameters of objectives. Again, 10% max crypto. I don't want to go over 10% crypto exposure right now. If you add them up, that's the yield. Weight, that's it. So the total weight is 9.48%. So I'm very close to 10. This is why I haven't been adding, although it's very tempting, the BTCY and ETHY. It's not that I don't want to, but I still want to stay responsible, not have too much in crypto, but I will probably average, hopefully it stays low so I could average down. Maybe when I get to about 8 or 9% exposure, I'll put some. So that is pretty much it, everyone. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I answer most of the questions or frequently asked questions in that portfolio explained video, so make sure to check it out. And of course, make sure to download Blossom so you could actually here's the video, by the way, my portfolio explained video. Don't forget to download Blossom as well so you could actually follow my main portfolio, exactly what I showed you. And make sure to follow me. My username is Adrian_PII. We're going to do this again next month. See you then, guys. Hey, don't go yet. I have some important reminders, including some more recent ones, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. And for everything that I'm about to discuss, the links and info are in the video description below. So first of all, if you didn't know yet, I do offer a one-on-one coaching session where you'll have a 1-hour Zoom call with me where you could ask me all the questions you want, and I'll help you and assist you best I can. Just remember that I am not a licensed or registered financial advisor or planner. So to book a session, go on my website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca, and right there on the homepage on the left-hand side, there is a small video. Watch that video to know how to book a one-on-one properly with yours truly. Also on my website, you could purchase my digital product, the Ultimate DIY Investing Package, which is on version 4 right now. It comes with lifetime updates, so you only have to buy it once. And this is really a reference tool or a companion tool to help you build your own portfolio according to your needs and your objectives. It has lists of funds. It has sample portfolios for both Canadian investors and American investors. So make sure to check it out on my website. I actually created a video which shows the product from A to Z because I don't want you to spend money unless you know exactly what you're getting. So make sure to check that video out on my website. And don't take my word for how good it is. Check out the reviews. There's over 300 of them and they are all 100% real reviews. So here's some more updated news or recent news. I am now on Blossom, a new investing app designed for investors investors. I've been using it for a few weeks now. I think it's really, really great. It has a really cool feature where users could actually add and share their portfolios and what they're buying and selling every day. So you could actually link your investing account so it's updated automatically on a daily basis. I recently added my own main portfolio so you could follow how my portfolio is doing live and what I buy every month. Really, really cool. It's like a mix of Facebook and Twitter, but specifically for investing. So get on your phone, click on the link in the video description below and download the app. It's 100% free, so you too could share your portfolio. Just remember to look for me and follow me. My username is Adrian, PII altogether. Also, I do have a referral link for Questrade, so you could get $50 worth of free stock purchases. This is the Canadian discount broker that I use and I recommend. Unlike Wealthsimple, the other popular discount broker in Canada, you could drip everything you want. It has all the stocks and it also has dual currency accounts. Very, very convenient if you're buying both Canadian stocks and American stocks. I have a Questrade video, by the way, which gives you a little tour of the features, so make sure to check that out. I also have a referral link for Passiv. This is the portfolio tracking tool that I use to consolidate all our accounts to get a nice bird's eye view, so you can consolidate all the information together for easy tracking and stats as well. Also, our Facebook group, Passive Income Investing, is now an invite-only private group. So to join it, you need to click on the link in the video description below and give the group a like to get invited. So we take pride in making this one of the best investing Facebook groups out there with over 13,000 members. There's no scams, there's no spammers, and negative and doomsday people, we kick them out right away. Also, follow us on Instagram if you want a little bit more of our personal journey here in Panama. And lastly, just remember everyone, I am not a licensed or registered financial advisor. This channel is all about my personal investing journey and how I invest to generate high passive income from a diversified portfolio of high yield funds. It's for educational purposes only, so don't forget to do your own research and due diligence. And of course, stay safe everyone, stay healthy, and of course, stay passive. See you next time.